Hello everyone, welcome to Palmist. Let's do a general analysis of this person's palm. Before we do, please subscribe. And if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us, that's in the description box. Now, looking at this person's lifeline, if you see here, it starts off from this point, it comes down, it comes to this point, then there is a break. You see that? It comes down to this point, again there is a break, and then it picks up from here and it goes in. Now he will live up to the age of 77. 76, 77 is what we see. But like I always tell people, if you take care of yourself well in your old age, once you start touching 55, 60 and things like that, things you might live a few years longer. Okay, but what will happen is around at 58, this person is going to fall ill. 61, this person is going to fall ill. So they have to be very, very careful. Okay, because what happens is when you ignore signs here, then the lines will start changing here automatically. If you take early precautions here, for example, then the lines will start changing here automatically because you're taking early precautions. So they need to take early precautions, then the lines will change, then things will get better. Even if the illness happens, it will only be about 20 to 25%, the effect will be there. It won't be the severe, it won't be severe, what do you call it, 100% bad. Now, if you see this person's Rahu lines, there are a lot of Rahu lines here at the beginning of his life, up to the age of 27, 28. There's tons of Rahu lines here. What this does is it creates a lot of stress in life, mental stress, and if it cuts the fate line, then it brings financial stress. In this person's case, it will be a lot of mental stress. Okay, and also if you see these small boxes here, if you zoom in, you'll probably see it. There's a lot of small boxes which shows extreme mental stress in this person's life. Okay, throughout his life there will be a lot of stress. Now also marriage is not very good. There will always be severe problems in this person's marriage, and I see there's one line here and there's another line here, so chances of more than one marriage is very high. Now this line here comes and attaches itself like this, which means this person has a very good chance of settling in a foreign country. Okay, this is what this indicates here. Now, if you look at this person's fate line, there is no fate line. Even if it's there, I'll show you what it is. You see, it starts off like this from here. There is an X. Then it starts off from this point here. There is another cut here. It's not an X mark, so please don't get confused. And again, it picks up from this point. It goes up. You see this? And there is a massive X here. Now, a lot of people will say this is a star. It's not. If you see here, it's not a star. This is a massive X which is cut. A star looks different. Okay. Now, this indicates, what does this mean? This means that this person is going to have a lot of financial losses, repeated financial losses. Why? Because of poor decision making. There is growth after 55, 56. But throughout his life, either he starts from 20, 24, 25, whenever he starts from, there is going to be repeated. At least 3 severe financial losses will happen in this person's life. 3 major, which can even wipe his 80, 90% of his assets or savings or whatever he's got. It will be wiped off. Why? Because of poor decision making. Why is poor decision making? If you see, first of all, there is a very short mind line, which means quick decision making. In a business, you have to, or a job, whatever you do, investments or whatever that is that you do, always study the market, understand the market. Look at the cons more than pros. A lot of people get very excited about the pros. They get excited about the pros. They say cons, we can handle it when it comes. And this is where it gets you. Because this is most likely, this will be 70% of cons and pros will be 30%. Yes, every investment has an upside, but it also has its downside. And downside, when it starts, it's like a chain reaction. Everything just goes down very quickly. So this person will make severe financial poor decisions, and there will be 3 major financial losses in this person's life. One will happen around at 30, one will happen around at 46, and one will happen around at 53. Okay, so they need to be very careful and no need of making quick decisions in life. Short mind line, what it does is you get excited about things, very, very excited. You stop listening to people, stop listening to suggestions, thinking that you know better. And because of those poor decisions that you make, you don't want to listen. And you get angry when somebody tries to reason, somebody tries to make sense. You don't want to listen because your mind has already been set, the curd is formed. So, because of that, there will always be problems dealing with a person like this because you cannot reason. His mind is already set, hers or his mind is already set. So, it's very, very difficult to reason with them. And because of that, what happens is their friends, colleagues, whatever, they'll let it go by saying, okay, fine, you want to do it, you see how it turns out. So, immediately after that, there will be financial losses. So, it will happen thrice. This person has to be very, very careful. Also, the heart line, if you see, multiple islands, one, two, three, there's multiple islands here, which means it's very difficult to trust a person like this. Because if you have too many islands like this, guys, in a heart line, it becomes very difficult to trust a person like this. When you have one or you have two, what this indicates is there's a heartbreak either from the person who you loved, somebody close has passed away, or some love life, either it was a divorce or somebody who you love has betrayed you, not some things like that. Either it's that. But having too many means it becomes a very big problem to trust them because they will never keep up to their word. Anything or he or she says, they will never keep you. They'll say it's a done deal in the morning. You go back, they'll say, I didn't discuss this, let's renegotiate. Things like that. And because of that, it becomes an irritant for people who deal with people like this. So always when you have signs like this, you have to understand there is a problem that you have which needs attention, which you need to look into. Often the mind won't allow it. They always think that they're superior, they always think that they're better decision makers, in spite of them having zero success stories, but they still think that they're smarter and better. And that will be the downfall of these people. Okay, there is a beautiful, you see here, there is a beautiful flag sign here. A flag sign here indicates a very, very, very lucky in terms of recognition and fame. You see this? This is a good sign, but this needs support, guys. See, when something is growing, when you put something in the ground, it needs support for it to grow, correct? Till it grows to a certain point. Then what you do is you remove the support system. The same thing with this. You can have a good flag line, but your fate line is completely broken, cuts. Because of that, what happens is the effect of this also becomes bare minimum, 10-20%. Yes, people will know, people will recognize this, that, but what will happen is the 100% effect of this, if the proper fate line was there, then this means massive success, massive fame, success in this person's life. People will know because of the reputation, people will come to the business, business gets multiplied, you will get franchises, either somebody will want to invest in your business, things like that happen. So it goes together hand in hand. But in this person's case, first of all, you cannot trust this person. One. Second thing is short-tempered. Whatever comes in his mouth, he'll just blabber. And because of bad fate line, that means poor financial decisions. So when you have combinations of this has no room to even flourish. It won't even if the effects are there, it'll just disappear into a black hole. Do you understand what I'm saying? So things like that will happen in this person's life. So you need to be very careful. When you have a short mind line, when you have a poor fate line, you have to be very, very careful of what you're doing. Because sometimes thoughts come into your mind. You sit somewhere, you overhear your friends talking or your colleagues talking or somewhere, and you think that it's a great idea, and you take your savings and you put it there and you lose money. Things like that will happen. So be very careful. First, you need to understand. When you have signs like this, you have to understand that there is a problem that you have. After the first go here, you have to understand that there is a problem that I have. But many fail to accept. Many think that it's somebody else's fault. It's the market which crashed. It was the COVID which brought these problems. It was this, it was that, some or the other excuse. There will always be an excuse in this person's life. Instead of saying, yes, I did screw up, I did make a bad investment, I need to be very careful and never do this again unless and until I understand the cons and pros. More cons and less pros. Pros is a given. Yes, pros is what you make money. But what about the downside? You lose everything. Nobody wants to look at this because it's not a good thing to see. It doesn't ring nice things in your ears. It always is like doom and gloom. But this is what makes you or breaks you, the cons. So always understand that first. I hope this helps. Please subscribe. I haven't touched many other points here. Please do subscribe, and if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us. And please, guys, like and share my videos as much as you can. Let a lot of people see it. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.